You ready? Should we do it? Oh, yeah. Let's add 2. Hey guys, Chokester here, bringing another episode of Skyblock3. We are up to episode 10. You know what 10 means? 10 means a world download. So look for that after the end. It should be in the description of this episode. All right. So we are going to do something with our chest today, and as you probably already have seen in the description of it. And the screenshot, it will be something cool over there. But we haven't done that yet. What we're going to work on first, though, is we are going to set up a processor and a program. This is from RFTools control. No, we're not going to do a lot of programming. We're just going to do a little bit, okay? So I want to put down the processor right here, all right? So now I've already played with this, so ignore the things that are up there. Ignore the things. Shh. Don't just ignore that. Okay. So what I have done is I've created a processor. It's pretty inexpensive, and I created 1 RAM chip and 1 CPU core. In general, you only need the CPU core right off the bat. But in the programmer then, what I want to do is I've created a program card as well. We're going to create a very, very simple program. Let me explain what the problem is. The problem is that this colossal chest has a lot of things inside of it. Yes? No? Maybe? There it goes. Okay, so it has a ton of things in here, but how much? That's the question. So I have to come down here. I rewired this to look all nice and pretty. I have to come down here. I have to hit this and say, oh, look, 283,000 out of 2.3 million. We're a little over 10%. We got a long way to go. But how do I know that without having to go down there? So that's where I came up with this idea to say, let's try to monitor this. Well, I can't find a block that will do this. So I'm going to write my own. And it's very simple to do. So if we put our program card in here, this program card is very simple to make as well. We say repeat, just show me this over and over and over again. And I'm going to say read the chest contents, count items external. And I'm going to say I want the inventory slot. And if we look here, if we look at our compass over there, east, I want to say look in the inventory to the east. Right there. And that's it. That's it. That's all I have to do. Now I have to tell this, got to set a few things, right? So tell this to run every 40 ticks, let's say every 2 seconds, okay? And then the last thing is, so it's reading that, but it's not doing anything with it. Let's output it to the screen or to the console, all right? So let's just put this on here, and this says output operation log message. So we just log it to where? Or I'm sorry, it will log it to the console, but from what? What are we logging? And that's why the blinking red is up there. I'm going to say whatever the result of this last one is. See how the green is linking this? The last string that you receive, just output it. That's it. I'm going to save it. We'll give it a name. We'll call it really simple. That's it. That's what we're going to call it. And so, oops, did not place in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here, right? And then as it runs, now it will show, if I set this to show the normal log, so now it'll show that we have 283,691. That's it. I can just look over here from a distance and say, oh yeah, that's how many we have. But as you might have seen what scrolled past, that's not good enough. But how big is that, right? How big is our total capacity? So I did some math as well, and I have created the next card. And let's take a look at this. So I can just load this up. And so all this does is it says, all right, so I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to count the items. I'm then going to, from the last one, I'm going to put a space/space. And then I'm going to put in, remember, read from the last, right? I'm continuing the chain along here. Add in the total amount. Now there's a function in here to say get total slots. I multiply that times 64, and that should come up with this number. It does not. For whatever reason, maybe I'm doing it wrong. I'll go back and revisit it, but it does not. So I just hard-coded this number in. This is what our size chest is. And then we output that to a variable 4. You'll see why in a few minutes. So why I output that to a variable, I just save that in a variable. Just remember that. That's all I want you to do. Instead of just passing it along and outputting to the screen, save that for future use. And so I put operation log message, to log it to the console and then stop. You don't need this, but it's a good programming practice. So I take that card. I then, again, it won't go in that slot for some reason when I place it. All right, so then I was already in here. I will place now. This is the simple inventory monitoring. Okay, so now what it does is we've done that exact same thing, and we have a slash out of this much, right? So this is how much we're using. This is out of how much. But it's a little hard to determine those really big numbers. Wouldn't it be nice if we had commas in there? Well, there's no built-in way to do commas. So I took the liberty to make my own. And this gets a lot more complex. I don't expect you to follow this, and I won't go through it, but this is essentially what I'm doing. I'm saving each thing, and ultimately, if you're curious, I am dividing by 1,000, multiplying back times 1,000, subtracting the 2, getting the first and third octet, or the pair, the first and third half of it, and or first and second half, sorry, in threes, and then saving it all out, now putting it to the screen, and all good, right? So let's take a look at this. And we will put this in here. And so now, if we stand back, look at that, we have commas, yay! So now we have commas. That's nice and pretty formatted. But, so when I view this off angle, it's sometimes a little hard to see. So what if we were to put up a big old fancy screen? Okay, so I have this, no, sorry. There we go. If I put that up there and I hit it with this smart wrench, right, I can change the different sizes. We've seen this before. So I'll put it right here like this. And if I were to grab this fancy module, remember, this is a variable module. Remember variable 4? Well, if I were to put this in and I were to go in here and say, show me variable 4 in here, right? And the other thing is, for that screen to work, I have to have a screen controller. And so what I do is I just scan. Screen controller is very simple. It scans, it says, oh, I found the screen, let me power it. And there we go. Now I am displaying that same thing right here. And what I can do is I can right-click this once again, and it turns it transparent. And there we go. Now, the interesting thing is when I don't have blocks here, oh, look at that. The magical disappearing act. Pretty odd, huh? So something about this texture of this chest means that I can't have it transparent. I would love to. But unfortunately, glass doesn't work there. I need to have some sort of block there. And that's fine. That's fine. Okay. That's all well and good and so on, but we can make this prettier. We can make this prettier. And we can add a text in front of that. So all we have to do is just go here. We'll move this down one, and we'll just add a label. And so now, colossal chest space. All right. But now that we've set up this infrastructure, we got this scanner that's very cheap, or sorry, the screen controller, and we have the screen. Well, let's start doing some other stuff. So what if we were to go over here to our capacitor, and we shift right click on it. Now it's set to the capacitor bank. If I load that in there, now it shows me my level of my capacitor bank. Let's actually switch this on here. There we go. And so now it does the exact same thing. But what if we were to go in here, we do the exact same thing, we shift right click on it, and we put it inside of here. All right, so now we can have one that is actually configured to show RF, and this one's configured to show RF percentage. So there we go. Now we have one that shows hard numbers as well as the percentage. So that's all cool, but we need something pretty in there, right? We got to do something like a spacer and maybe a title for it. So let me move these down one more. So we will put the spacer here just to make it look pretty. These are just standard text modules, right? So now we have that. All right. Well, what if we were to do the same exact thing with our fluid tank, right? Oh, and I upgraded this fluid tank. Now it holds a whopping 10,024 buckets, or 1,224,000 millibuckets of liquid. That was just a little bit of diamonds. Very simple now that we're in this area. So if we were to pop this in and pop this in, so this is the blank one. This is, oh, yeah, sorry, that way. That's the one I need. Okay, and then we'll put these two in here. This is for that lava tank. You know how to shift click, and there we go. Now we have the exact same thing. So pretty cool, huh? And now I've got base monitoring, very simply, plus chest monitoring. I'm all excited about that. So very, very cool. So the next thing I want to do is I want to look at the sword options. So, you know, these draconic swords are pretty epic, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. But these inferium swords look pretty cool. And if I look at something like this guy, this does 21 attack damage. Remember we were trying to get over 20 attack damage? I just put Maniyulin on there and it should work. I haven't done it yet, but it should get us over 20. But I want to make this Supremium sword. So this looks really cool. It requires the Supremium ingot, right? And we work our way down through that, and it's just a piece of iron. And it also requires, oops, I lost it. It also requires this here, which is some nether skulls. It's a nether star. Remember, we got one nether star. And the Supremium tool core, which is just works our way down. So it's pretty straightforward. It's just a lot of cascading level. Okay, the moment of truth. Does the North Star work in the recipe? And it does. Excellent. So now I should be able to go back to the sword, and I think we have everything. Oh, I didn't make that. Hold on. And lastly is the sword. Yes, we have 21 attack damage. Woohoo! Now, it doesn't have looting on it, so we might want to put looting on it. But for right now, what we're going to do next is we're going to be working with the wither. So let's get a few things that we need. First thing is we need a controller. All right, there's the controller. Next thing we're going to need is constructors, which I have already made ahead of time. You notice I set up a little auto crafting to help out with that. And then we also need an external storage. External storage. I've already made one ahead of time. And then we're going to need a standard chest. So this is our uncolossal chests, which we don't need. And we just need that chest. We're going to need the wither glass. Now remember, if we look at this wither glass, right, reinforced glass, I decided to reinforce, I'll spell it correctly one of these times, reinforced glass. So this is the cheapest option. It's not as blast proof or wither proof around the outside of it as some of the other options, like the reinforced obsidian here, which is kind of the next more expensive, which is just steel, a lot of steel. And then the last one is this guy right here, the reinforced obsidian, which is the dark steel, which just takes a really long time to make. It's not bad if you just set it to go and you just need a lot of this, but I'm going with the cheapest option just to show that it can be done. So I'm going to grab all that I made. I made a little over 2 stacks. All right, then what we're going to need is we're going to want a shield projector. So if I look up shield projector, I already have some templates in here, but I would love to go with this, but we don't have the nether star. So we're going to go with tier 3, which is a cascading recipe. So we need each of these. I think I might already have, yeah, I made a bunch of these machine frames. So then tier 2, we should have that. One of the benefits of having compacting drawers and blocks, I never have to worry about that. Just saying. All right, so we have this shield projector 3. And that'll be as far as I can go. So I'm going to need 1, 2, 3 of those. That's all I'm going to need. And then I'm going to need, let's see, I think that's it for right now. Let's go build this. Let's go build this and see how we look. All right, I'm going to put this away for right now. So I have, oh, one other thing I need is an angel block. That one right there. Let's put that right there. Okay, so I'm going to build this, I don't know, somewhere like right here, right? Okay, so we'll put that right there. And then the first thing I want to do is I want to build some, little base down here, right? So I can get rid of this now. All right, so I want to have just a base of operation here. And so that's going to be our floor. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put down my shield template. Okay. Our shield generator or shield projector is going to go right underneath that because we really only need a 3 wide because that's how wide the wither is. All right, let's put the shield projector in there. Good. So that's going to be where he lands. So now I just have to build this all up around here. I'm going to put one here just to protect this guy. I'm going to need one here, and of course all the way on the back side going up, and on the front side going up, and just like that. So now, in theory, if I use this guy here, and let's change our mode, and I want it to be all of them. There we go. right there. So I'm going to bring this up. That's what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I need a few extra. I'm missing these right here where I was standing. Let's bring that back up. Say 13, 14, 15. All right, so 15 looks to be our highest that we can go. So let me take these down. Okay, so I have done a little finagling. I pulled a couple of extraneous blocks from down there. I have all but one block here. That's okay, though. That's okay. I'm trying to think how I want this set up. Yeah, let's first place the... I'm going to need to place some of these here. No, that's not what I wanted, but that's okay. That'll work. That'll work. So let's place these here. So I now need the constructor. Think about the way the wither is constructed, right? So that, and then I will be able to place these if I back up a hint. So that's the basic structure. So that's going to be for our soul sand. Okay. All right. So then what we're going to need to do is put this controller that controls it. Now, we don't have to worry about any blasts up here, so we're okay. We don't have to witherproof anything up here. So, in fact, I could go up a little bit higher if I really wanted to. So, I'm going to first do that, and that, once we configure this to this, will give us power. Okay? And since we have these out, let me go down here, and I'm going to put one on here, and we will configure this. And the other thing is I don't know if this will really help, but I'm going to turn off limit, and I'm going to set a maximum of an order of magnitude higher. And so that, in theory, should give me as much power as I possibly can get over here. Okay, so that's what we're going to set. This guy will be solid damage. I could set all, but what happens if I fall in there accidentally? I'm just going to say hostile mobs then. Not like I'm getting out if I actually fall in, but that'll give me a little bit of time. And we want player looting. All right, so that's what I'm going to set here. And shield texture, what color do we want? I think I want like a blue. All right, and we're going to set redstone mode on to activate. All right, and shield texture, sure, that's fine with me. And we will grab a lever, however you want to pronounce it. I actually pronounce it lever, but it's fun to say lever. Okay, so now the only other thing I have to do is hit this with a smart wrench, which I put away earlier. Hit that with the smart wrench, turn that on, and so now we are doing damage to hostile mobs, and it's getting power. The question of whether we can sustain that power for a wither is in question, right? So the way I have built this is I did not put another block underneath it. So in theory, he could, explode through there. We'll see. We'll see how that works. Worst case scenario, I blow out that little blocks. I just trying it this way. Okay. I'm not that worried. That's why we built this sword. If he gets free, we're going to take him on. Yeah, we are. Okay, so then let's go up here and let's put the last three. And I just used that bottom one. That is not that pattern again. We just need those. And so what I need is, let's get all of those out of here. Okay, so the only other thing we're going to do is we're going to put down a chest. So what happens if we put the chest, I don't know, we'll put the chest, how about right there? All right, and then we will put the external storage on the chest. And what that does is we have now created a mini little network here so that, let's make sure, yes, external storage and the 7 constructors are here. And what that will do is it will use this as the storage for this mini refined storage network. This is the kind of the bare minimum that's needed for a refined storage. If you watch my Direwolf pack, I kind of did the same exact thing. So what this is, let me go grab the other stuff we need. Okay, I have grabbed wither skeleton skulls and soul sand. I also grabbed some of these, but just wait on that. Okay, so what we want to do is for each of these, we'll say you can construct each of these. And for the bottom 4, we will be doing soul sand. Okay, and the last one is done. So now, the only other thing is as soon as I put stuff in this chest, it will start building us the wither. Except for I don't want that. I don't want that quite yet. So what I want to do is I want to set one of these. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to set one to be redstone triggered. Why, you ask? Well, because I don't want this to be I want this to be triggered on demand. So if I were to go right here and I place a lever, or I just so happen to have extra buttons with me, button would be pretty cool. So if I do that, now watch this, watch this. If I hit that, it turns it on, right? So now what it'll do is it'll build these automatically, but the last one won't be placed until I hit the button. So let's try it out. Let's try it out. Oh yeah, that worked. Okay, good, good, good. So let's try the skulls. I got 2 of them. Oh, are you guys ready? Are you ready? Let's go review our stuff here. Okay, so I have purposely placed this lever on the bottom side in case there's any explosion. Each block has different damage, explosion resistance levels. So these guys have higher than this, but this has the least amount. And in some past builds I've had, the explosion will knock this off and it'll shut this off. So one way around it is temporarily, I'm going to say always be on. Always be on. If you knock this off, do not shut off. It's not like he can fall through that one block space, and he's not getting through this at all. So he could knock the power off, he could knock the switch off, but we don't want to. Okay, let's go sleep. Okay, fresh morning, we can see everything. Let's get our sword ready. Are you ready? Here we go. Oh yeah. Who'd we get? Herobrine Wither. Okay, let's stand back. Get your sword at the ready. And wait for him to explode. Go. And he's taking damage. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Get down there. Oh, I missed it. That's all right. I forgot to turn my magnet on. That's all right. We can do this again. We can do this again. So, oh, magnet is on. I was just too far away. That's okay. That's okay. So the next thing we probably want to do is we want to have an item collector. I don't have one on me, right? No, I don't. Okay. Item collector, we're going to put, I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't really matter where we put it. We'll put it maybe like right here. Okay. So we'll put an ender chest on white. And so we will place the advanced item collector. It doesn't really matter where. How about if we put it on the front side? Now, one of the things about the advanced item collector is it goes through walls. The other things, the hopper that we're using over there also goes through walls. But there's other items in this pack, especially the XP orb collectors, that don't go through walls. So beware. That's one of the reasons I always use these advanced item collectors. Is that they're really, really, really nice. You can set radius. The advanced one, of course, you can set radius as well as they pull through walls. And that's what we're going to need here. So we should see all our other stuff, and it will collect the nether stars. And we're ready for another one. Ready for another one. Oh, yeah. Melora lamb. Okay, let's go down here. Wait for the explosion. Looks like we built it all protected. Good. Nothing's getting damaged. Awesome. And there we go. So let's go back and check in our system and make sure we've got a nether star. Because remember, we had the North Star before, but now, do we have any nethers? Yes, we do. There we go. That's an automated solution. Automated solution for wither killing. But we can make it even better. What if we were to say these right here, this redstone receiver and transmitter, what if I were to say, add this redstone receiver, remember, look in the direction that you want the arrow to be facing. So I look over here, and this guy's on channel 1. This guy is also set on channel 1. What if we were to take this over here, okay, and we can put it anywhere we really want. How about if we put it right here? All right, so I'm going to look up as well. So that's the input where your redstone signal is coming. And if I put that there, are you ready? Should we do it? Oh yeah. Let's add 2. Look at that. We have 2 of them at once. One explodes. Second one explodes. And they're both being killed at once. How cool is that, guys? How cool is that? Now that we've tested that our... Good. I could gather this XP. I'm not too worried about it. But now that we've confirmed that we're not going to do any damage, I'm going to set this over here to on to activate. That way, I could turn this on and off. Now, in theory, I could even tie the same channel, come down here, and tell it to turn this on and have some fancy redstone that leaves it on for a certain amount of time. And no, it's not worth it. I just want to be able to turn that on and off in case I, need to worry about power. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we got the screenshot. And that's what we will put as our... Yeah, it does 4 of them at a time easily. Cool. Awesome. How's our power looking? Our power is holding up just fine. As you can see, we've got the Mark II going here, and it's 640 RF per tick. Obviously, it drained a bit of that buffer, so be careful. In the world download, I haven't generated big power yet. We are definitely running out the buffer of this because that shield projector takes quite a bit of power in order to contain the blast. So let's make another one. Oh, how cool. I love it. Is that not a really cool build? Because he is falling, or she, or whatever the wither is, because it is falling, it is now far enough away to not damage any of our stuff up at the top. Okay, the last thing I want to do here is let's look up our sword. Now, there are 3 different levels of this sword. So we've got the first one, which is 21 attack damage, which is a one-hit shot for all regular mobs. Then there's a 31. Well, how do you make that? Well, it's just our same sword with this charm of strength. How do we make the charm of strength? It's these supremium apples. Well, if you notice, I have been getting a lot of, in my mob grinder over here, I have been getting a lot of these legendary loot bags. There's 16 of them in there. And I've been throwing them in the loot bag opener. Let me just show you that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we'll just grab a bunch of these. And we'll throw them in here, and so they automatically open up, and they get us stuff, right? Well, one of the things I've been getting in here is these supremium apples. So that's really cool. I'll get a lot of diamond stuff, and we have a ton of diamonds. That's not a problem. Not a problem. So let me throw these others in here. Good. I'm getting a whole bunch of cruft from here, but let's go over here, and you'll notice that now if we look up supremium, I think that's 6 now. So I've been getting this. This is from my farm. This is from loot bags. This is for a future project we're going to be doing. It's just 9 of these. But these supremium apples allow us to make that charm. So let's go back to our sword. We go back here, and then, we're going to need this blank charm, which is a superium block, which I've already made. Yes, I did. And then, again, for that other project, but I'll just remake a new one. And then, just supremium essence and these supremium apples. In case you were wondering, it's one of these cascading recipes, right? And you just work your way up, and boom, boom, boom. All right? It's pretty straightforward. So, let's grab that. And then, in theory, all we should have to do is add this to our sword. Yes? 31 attack damage. Now, the last thing is there's a strength 2 here. 41 attack damage. So I'm not sure. There's no recipe. So I'm clicking on it. There's no recipe. It could be just adding another one of those. I don't know. I'll try it out. I need some more of those premium apples, but let's go test this out first. So let's go downstairs, and we will head over here. So that's for next episode. Hang tight. We're going to show that off. All we have to do is fly away, and we will get some mobs here. With any luck, we'll get a ghast. That's always fun. I like when ghasts spawn out here. All right. Get a few things. Oh, there's those evil creepers, those nitro creepers that somehow it never seems to I never seem to get them. Oh, there we go. Missed the first one. There we go. And there we go. Nice. Nice. Awesome. And if you can one-hit these guys, they don't get upset. But see, I didn't one-hit that secondary guy, so then they got upset. Oh, that's a great sword. Love it. Awesome sword. All right, I'm very, very happy with that. Well, let's go back home, and we will say goodbye. All right, run over here. Okay, let us dump a few things off here. So we don't need this or this or this. I have so many of all of this. I'm going to, of course, save that. Nuggets, sure, why not? And cobblestone, yeah, we don't need cobblestone in our inventory. And so we'll drop this off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a crystal chest. and I'm going to place it. Oh, one other thing, and you guys, one of you noticed, is that this guy was off center, right? It was one space to the left. And so what I did was I tore down the whole left side and added another row to the right side. And so now it's centered. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Otherwise, it would have bothered the heck out of me. I checked this way, right? 3 here and 3 here, but I didn't notice. So thank you so much for pointing that out. All right, so the other thing is I don't need that. I don't need that there. Okay, the one last thing. If you do not, I think the core is right here, do not break that core. You can break any other block. Do not break the core, otherwise you lose your items. Okay. So let's dump this in here. We'll put the chest out here. It's world download time. So I will throw all of my stuff in here. I will take off all of my measly armor, which we haven't really had a need for it, and all my bubbles. I will throw that in here. There is nothing chunk loaded, as you can see. Nothing is chunk loaded, right? Otherwise it'd look like this, but it is not. And I have used chunk loaders. Remember, I have a chunk loader here. And let's go over. Oh, I don't have my flank. Give me a second. All right. Let's go over here. Let me just show you. There is a chunk loader up in the ceiling here for this area. I have made a few more chickens. So prismarine, gunpowder, water, emerald, flint, which surprisingly my flint got killed by my ocelot. And lastly, I have made terrasteel chicken. So now I've got all that flowing in. So that's what's new over here. Not too much. And but chunk loaders are good. You should be okay with this world download. Let me make sure I put this Wings of the Bat back. Okay. All right, guys. Well, naked and afraid, and enjoy. Talk to you later. Bye.